Noah Clowney is now the focus, of course, but he's not just Indiana's focused, but it would be a crown jewel in this recruiting. And not to say that he's the best, but when you add him to this class, this class will jump to, I don't know how is this a top 2 class, top 3 class? I'll have to look at the numbers, but I know it would catapult the class, but it would also catapult the talent on the team, but it would catapult Indiana in the eyes of the rest of the recruit. I mean, that to me, that would be the final. It's already tipping in the right direction, in my opinion. I think it started with Tamar Bates, obviously, but then when they went to the Bahamas, even though you couldn't see it, everyone knew it. That continued that with recruits. They see what's going on. They know that Tamar Bates is getting to play, getting to perform, getting to do whatever he needs to do, the opportunities. And so that continues. Now they just landed another great commitment in Jalen Hood-Schifino from Montverde Academy. Noah Clowney would just open the rest of the floodgates, I think.
Yeah, and you look at what that class would provide, and you would check off of every single box that you would need out of a recruiting class, and especially check off boxes that Indiana needed. You get a combo guard in Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's one away, for those people who really look at rankings, one away from a 5-star spot. So top 20 player now in the entire class, jumped up 12 spots after he committed earlier this week. But you look at what he's going to be able to provide from the kind of point guard backcourt position, along with everyone else in that backcourt. Then you cross off the wing position with CJ Gunn, who's going to be a multi-year player. Probably someone who's not going to do too much early on in his career, but you look at the second half of that career as a guy who Indiana's faced multiple times, a guy who can shoot the ball, a guy who can score the ball, and a very good kind of two-way player. As an upperclassman, you check off a versatile kind of hybrid forward in Caleb Banks, who can play a little bit of the 3, a little bit of the 4. Still developing that jump shot, but a super athletic, versatile player. Again, very defensive-minded as well. And then you cross off the box of a big man in a top 50 center in Noah Clowney, who is not only a defensive shot blocker, terrific rebounder, but he's really developing his perimeter skills, not to play on the perimeter, but to have the ability to kind of take someone off of the dribble from the top of the key, able to knock down some kind of 15-foot shots that Indiana's really struggled with out of their front court over the past 5 seasons, as we know well. So you look at what they're able to basically just cross off with one class, guys who are going to be there for at least 2 to 3 seasons. And again, we talked about it. That foundation would be 100% cemented with the rest of the roster, assuming next year and the year after. And that's the ideal class that you would want Mike Woodson to reel in his first true recruiting class. And kind of another note on that, you look at all these guys in that class and all these guys that Mike Woodson has landed, only one of them who he's kind of re-engaged into Indiana has been an in-state guy with CJ Gunn, but every single commitment that he's gotten on his own is an out-of-state player. And that just shows you the national recognition that Indiana is now getting in just 4 months.
And I don't think that it didn't go away. It was just not cultivated, and it wasn't able to be cultivated because of what was going on. It's just one of those things that a true blue blood like Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, those type of schools, they don't go away. It's just bubbling under the surface, boom, and all it takes is a little water, and you see exactly what's going on. Because just go back to Tom Crean's 6-25 season. Assembly Hall was full. There is no other. There are maybe 3-4 other programs in the United States that could do that with a 6-25 club. Indiana is one of those because of who they are. Expectation. Noah Clowney, I can't get a read on him. I don't know if Indiana was a little bit later to the party. I know he really seems to like Alabama, and as a big man, he likes how Alabama runs and gets down the floor. Of course, we saw that last year. I don't know if they led the country in threes, but if they didn't, they should have. But with their new coaching staff, man, they made a big change. They're a player in the game, a big player he's from the South. He's from South Carolina. You've got even Frank Martin in there, but I don't see him going to South Carolina. It just has not done much under him. They did have that one run that year, but Indiana is a program, and Mike Woodson is a guy that he knows, being a big guy, there's a great relationship there. And I think Mike Woodson can use that to his advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the four schools that are kind of in that, Noah Clowney, Indiana, Virginia Tech, Florida, and Alabama. Out of those, I think you look at Indiana and Virginia Tech as kind of the two that stick out, with Alabama as actually the latest school to kind of get into that recruitment. But like you said, they run the type of offense that Noah Clowney would really thrive in, and using very athletic big men. And that's one thing that Indiana showed him, because they don't have any tape on what Mike Woodson would bring to the college game. And that's the biggest thing that Noah Clowney is really looking for out of this visit this weekend, is to see exactly where he would play, what kind of system that would be, and really kind of visualize what it would look like. Obviously, he likes having that NBA pedigree as a head coach with Mike Woodson, and he knows the style that he played in the NBA. But I think what we were able to see in the Bahamas with how they played Race Thompson and Trace Jackson Davis as the two big men, really having the freedom to kind of do whatever they want, whether it was grab a rebound, lead the break, whether it was take a three if they wanted to, if it was in the flow of the offense, or, lead a fast break, dish it out to someone for the three, which we saw with Trace Jackson Davis as well. I think that freedom is something that really benefit Noah Clowney. And I think that's one thing that he's really out of this visit, to see exactly what that system would look like under Mike Woodson in college.